2 years after the Curien Mansion incident, the nightmare isn't over. It's just moved. Our MS Agent G, still digging into the mess left behind by Dr. Curien's death, tracks down traces of the old scientist's operations all the way to Venice, Italy. But something goes wrong. G vanishes during his investigation, and before long, Venice is swarming with the undead. AMS doesn't waste time. They send in a fresh squad: James Taylor, Gary Stewart, Harry Harris, and Amy Crystal. 4 agents, 1 mission: find G, save civilians, and stop whoever's behind this new wave of horror. On February 26, 2000, the team lands in Italy, and it's chaos from the jump. Zombies pour out of alleyways, canals, and plazas, turning the historic city into a battlefield. James and Gary split off and, in the middle of the madness, stumble across G himself, badly injured but alive. He manages to hand them a field journal stuffed with enemy intel, basically a survival guide to what they're up against. With G safe for the moment, James and Gary push forward, mowing down hordes while trying to pull civilians out of danger. The first big challenge comes in the form of Judgment, a gruesome tag team made up of Zeal, a gremlin-like freak, and Quarrel, his massive headless armored puppet wielding a giant axe. It's AMS versus puppet show from hell, but the agents win, clearing the way forward. Not long after, James and Gary regroup with Amy and Harry. The 4 agree to meet again at Sunset Bridge after splitting up to cover more ground. Of course, Venice has other plans. Rising from the waterways comes the Hierophant, a grotesque amphibian monster leading an aquatic assault. It takes everything the team's got to bring it down, but eventually, the beast sinks into the canals, giving them a chance to escape by boat through the rivers. Along the way, the real mastermind steps out of the shadows: Caleb Goldman, a wealthy, smooth-talking businessman. He was the one financing Curien back in '98. And now, he's running the show. Goldman taunts the agents with a call, inviting them to the Colosseum for a meeting. Harry immediately smells a trap, and he's right. James and Gary press on and run smack into the tower. 5 monstrous serpents that strike in unison. After a grueling fight, they manage to kill them, but not before receiving a frantic cut-off emergency call from Amy. Racing to the Colosseum, they find Amy tending to a gravely injured Harry. The culprit? Strength. A massive zombie swinging a chainsaw like it's an extension of his arm. James and Gary take it down, but it's clear Goldman's unleashing every horror in his arsenal. Amy stays behind to help Harry, while James and Gary go after Goldman directly. The two fight their way through wave after wave, even facing resurrected versions of Judgment, the Hierophant, and the Tower. It's like Goldman's greatest hits album of monsters, only louder, meaner, and deadlier. Finally, the agents reach Goldman's skyscraper. Inside, waiting for them, is none other than the Magician. Once Curien's ultimate creation, Goldman has brought it back from the grave to guard his true project, the Emperor. The Magician unleashes its pyrokinetic fury, but James and Gary know the drill. They put it down again. At the very top of the tower, they find Goldman. Calm, smug, and completely detached from the horror he's unleashed, he unveils his masterpiece, the Emperor. A shifting, crystalline monstrosity, the Emperor is designed to protect nature by wiping out humanity. In Goldman's warped mind, this is evolution. In reality, it's apocalypse. James and Gary give everything they've got in a final punishing battle. Eventually, the Emperor shatters, its glowing body collapsing into nothing. Goldman, cornered and defeated, accepts his end with eerie calm. With a bitter smile, he throws himself off the building, his final words echoing, "In time, a successor will come." But the story doesn't tie up neatly. Just like the first game, the ending depends on how sharp you are. Good ending, James and Gary cross paths with Thomas Rogan, the original hero, who assures them G and Harry pulled through. He leaves them with a message of perseverance. Keep fighting as long as you have the will to live. Normal ending. As the dust settles, the agents reunite with G, Amy, Harry, and a grateful crowd of survivors. For now, the nightmare is over. Bad ending. Things take a darker turn. Outside Goldman's building, James and Gary encounter him again. But he's not himself. He's zombified. The screen fades to white, a gunshot echoes, and the players left with chills.